So, it's a bit of news with Fernando Alonso going around at the moment, that being that apparently he's going to consult with Adrian Newey over his F1 retirement when it eventually comes. Now, of course, Fernando Alonso is not getting any younger. He'll be 45 by the time that his deal ends with Aston Martin at the end of the 2026 season. But, of course, that is the first season of the new regulation changes, and it presents Aston Martin with a massive opportunity to be able to, well, just get up the grid and potentially win world championships, at least win some races. Now, of course, Alonso, like I said at the time of that deal, he'll be in his mid-40s. He'll be the oldest Formula 1 driver of the modern era, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Michael Schumacher who eventually retired at 43. I think he holds the record at the moment. And he'd become the oldest F1 driver since what? Like Fangio back in the 50s or something like that. It's been a very long time since we've had a driver of that age in the sport. And as good as Alonso is, he's not getting any younger. So what's going to happen? Well, Flavio Briatore has said on a few occasions that Alonso will retire after his current deal at Aston Martin finishes. And of course, there are a lot of rumours about Max Verstappen one day going to Aston Martin. And as good as Alonso is, will Lawrence Stroll turn down the opportunity to sign a much younger and a more successful in terms of championship and victories driver in the form of Max Verstappen? I don't think he would. I don't think he would at all. In fact, I think if even Max Verstappen goes to the team and tries to get him for 26, he might consider tearing up Alonso's contract. As horrible as it sounds, I think that could be the case. But let's have a look what this article's saying. Full article on the F1Chronicle.com, as always, guys. So Fernando Alonso says he will consult with Adrian Newey before deciding to end his Formula 1 racing career. The Spaniard admits he got immediately and personally involved earlier this year when Red Bull's technical genius decided to seek a change of scenes. He said, and I quote, I have his phone number and I texted him. What a surprise, Alonso 43 said. If you ever think that you would like a new challenge, I would love to work with you one day. There we go, Alonso. Alonso hasn't won a title since his back-to-back triumphs in 2005 and 2006, and he's failed to secure a 33rd career victory since his last win in 2013. Well, victory is definitely closer with Adrian than without him, he said, referring to the fact that he will start work with Aston Martin in early 2025. However, Alonso has only committed to racing in F1 until the end of 2026, the first year of the next regulation cycle. By mid-27, he will be 46 years old. I would love for my name to stay around for a little bit longer than most, but I know what that's going to be extremely difficult because we live in the present, not in the past. Things move on. It's just the natural way of things. I'm aware of my situation and I hope I can be there to drive that fast car that Adrian produces, but if it doesn't arrive in time for me to drive, I will still enjoy it because I will still be a part of the team on this exciting journey with Aston Martin. Alonso confirmed that even if he's not racing in 27, he will remain a part of the team. I mean, look at Pedro de la Rosa, he's currently like an advisor, and you've got even people like Jerome D'Ambrosio these days. He used to be a Formula 1 driver. He's an engineer now, a pretty senior engineer for, I think it's Mercedes. I think he's moving to Ferrari, so yeah, he's clearly very highly thought of. Also, on top of that as well, Alonso is of course a driver manager now, but Gabriel Bortoletti, and he's one of the drivers that is under his management, A14, or A14, that's it, A14 is his agency. However, he said he could decide to keep racing beyond 26 and admitted the new will play a role in that decision. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about that, said the two-time champion. Adrian will arrive in March next year and dedicate his time to the 26 car, so let's see how I feel at the end of 26 and if I can keep going. It will be a decision that we make together as a team with Lawrence Stroll and Adrian. Former F1 driver Juan Pablo Montoya agrees that Alonso is not really a long-term option for the Silverstone-based team. When do they get the decision and make the decision and go, hey, we've got the Honda, we've got Newey, why not go after Max Verstappen? He told the Gambling Zone. Well, I'm with Montoya on that one, in fairness, because he's not a long-term option. He's someone who has got the majority of his career behind him. He's done amazingly well to last as long as he has done at the end of the day, and that should be applauded. But like I said earlier, if Max Verstappen presents himself to Aston Martin, it's like, hey, I want to drive for you, they're not going to turn it down because he's much more of a long-term option. Lawrence Stroll is a guy who, there's a lot of parallels between what Red Bull did in the mid-2000s and what Aston Martin are doing now. A mid-table team, get Adrian Newey on board, design the best car for a new regulation change and dominate the sport. It could happen again. History could repeat itself, and I wouldn't rule it out at all. So what do you guys think? Because at the end of the day, Alonso, he's going to retire eventually, and I feel like that quote is a little more benign than what some people might say, because Adrian Newey is not just the designer of the car, he's also the person that's on the board too, just like Lawrence Stroll. He helps make those decisions. So by default, he would effectively he'd have to involve him in some way, shape or form anyway, so that's not going to change. What do you guys think about this? When is Alonso going to call Formula 1 a day? Is it going to be when his 26 contract ends, or is it going to be after that? Let us know in the comments below. And for much more F1 news and opinions, keep it tuned right here to the F1Chronicle.com.